Hi, I'm Robin from the Woodworkers Company. What we've got here is a stock double hung window, and what we want to do today is take the spiral balances out and then put them back in again. The reason you'd want to do this is if you have a painter and you need to paint behind here, you can either be really clever and try to paint behind there, or usually painters will paint over the top, which is quite messy. So the best thing to do is take these spiral balances out and then paint everywhere you need to paint. At the end of the job, you put it all back together again.
I normally cut a stick for so you can hold the sash in position. It won't fall once the spirals is in, but once you undo these screws, it'll drop, so you don't want to trap your hand.
So it's got 2 screws at the bottom, which you need to undo.
So you just use a bradawl or a pointy screwdriver, just undo it, hang on to the tag, and just release the tension. And make sure you hold on to it. If it slips in your hand, you could hurt your hand. Yeah. So let it drop.
The spiral balance is in different sizes. The sashes themselves are different sizes, so you have 2 different size spiral balances. So when you actually take them out, you need to remember which way they go back in, and they'll go back in exactly the same way. So the screws come out, and you just prise the little plate out from underneath, unwind the spiral.
And it's under tension, you just release it off. And the stick comes out and that sash will drop.
Take the spiral away from the top. It's only 1 screw that's holding it in place. Leave the screw actually in the spiral, it'll save you trying to look around for it later on. And pull the spiral out. Keep it with the other spiral, so you keep them in pairs. That's the first sash done. Okay, now we'll turn the window around. Normally it would already be built into the wall, so you don't have to do this, but for our purposes here, turn the window around so we can work on the other sash.
So it's the same thing again, a longer stick.
And 2 screws on the other side doing exactly the same. Undo the screw at the top. Again, leaving the screw in so we don't lose it. And that's it. 4 spirals are now out. You can actually get in there and paint wherever you want. It's all ready for its undercoats, top coats that you need to put on there. But because you get paint in different thicknesses, what you really need to do is either prise your beads back slightly, or actually take them off is the best thing to do, so that you don't get any paint caught behind the beads and on the sash, because if you do, at the end of the day, they're just going to stick. Alright, so now if you can imagine that we've actually painted this, everything's painted and looking beautiful, we need to put the spiral balances back in.
If you're doing one yourself, most important at the spiral is in the middle of this opening. If it's not, the actual sash will ride up against this parting bead or this staff bead. It won't travel smoothly.
Very simple process. Slide the spiral balance down inside the hole and screw the top screw in place.
The sash up with your long bit of stick. Wind the spiral up anti-clockwise, and I pull down on it until you get a little bit of tension.
We're going to wind that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that should give it enough tension for this size window. There's 2 different size screws in this particular sash because it's got a horn on the end. The long screw needs to go to the top and the short screw to the bottom.
If you use the long screw at the bottom, it could hit the tube, the actual black tube, which will damage it and it won't operate. So same process again, I just get some tension on it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's important to make sure that you do the same amount of turns on both sides, or else the sash will tend to want to slide up on an angle.
And I just shape the tag to the horn shape by tapping that up and giving it a hit in the middle. It sort of forms to the shape of the horn. Looks a bit tidier. Just give it a try. If you haven't got enough tension, the sash will drop. If you get too much tension, the actual sash will want to creep up. That's good.
So the window, theoretically now, if everything's painted and everything's hung correctly, you should get at least 5 years out of that before anything needs adjusting again, and in most cases longer. Thank you for watching the Woodworkers video.